Hey folks, it's Keith, Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec, sometimes known as the Shaky Key. Today, this time with a Parks on the Air activation. So today I was down in the Baxter Conservation Area, which for those folks who live in the Ottawa area, that's just outside of Ottawa, near the village of Kars, spelled K-A-R-S. Now this is a great park, and I'm always surprised that there's so few Ottawa amateurs who go out there and activate that park. Maybe it's just that there aren't that many doing Pota. That's quite possible. But if you do live in Ottawa, or if you live in sort of eastern Ontario, this is a great park to do. It's a nice large park. It's got great facilities, even washrooms, change rooms. There's a beach, the whole deal. And you'll see some of that when I show you the video, because that's the type of stuff that I like to look to. I don't generally like to sit there and watch somebody talking on a radio for half an hour. I like to know about the park, where it is, how did things go, that type of thing. So that's the way this video will go. But if you are in the Ottawa area, and even if you're not, into parks on the air or anything like that, if you've got young kids and you just want a place to go, or a nice place to go for a picnic, this is a good park to do it in. Easy access as well. If you live in the Kemptville area, well, it's about roughly 15 minutes from Kemptville, so easy access from there. If you're coming out of Ottawa, it's right off the 416, so it's the Dilworth, D-I-L-W-O-R-T-H, I think they spell it, Dilworth exit. It's right there. So, it's definitely easy to go to. Just down the road from it as well is the Rideau River Provincial Park, which unfortunately was my first choice today, but no, it was closed. It's closed for the season. So these two parks are fairly close to each other. So it's a good spot if you live in the Ottawa area to visit. It's an excellent spot if you're in the Ottawa area and you want to try a Pota activation. I've done 4 there now in the last little while. Apparently I'm the park leader in activations, and I've only done 4. There have not been a lot of activations in that particular park over the years. I think at this point I'm looking at 28 activations since 2021. So if you want to come down and do a Pota activation, it's a great one to do it. Very few Morse code contacts in any of those. There's one guy who did very well, but other than that, very, very few Morse code contacts. So if that's your thing, I was hoping to get that done today too, but you'll see how it turned out. So let's take a look, see what we're talking about. Baxter Conservation Area, excellent park to activate.
All right, so here we are on the Rideau River outside of Ottawa in a little tiny town called Kars, spelled K-A-R-S. We're going to be doing the Baxter Conservation Area today, which as you see is by the river. And I thought I would just point out this spot because it's just before you get to the park on the Park Road. This is the Kars Airport, Rideau Valley Airport. So it's a great, actually really great spot. Runway starts normally not too far from here, so you've got to watch when you pull your car up and make sure you got lots of room and no one's coming in real low around you. Lots of glider activity, small plane activity on weekends. It's a grass field that I've come down on a few times with my old 1961 Piper Colt, which just absolutely loved grass strips. So this is a fun one, and it's another spot if you're bringing the kids out, obviously in the summer, not necessarily this time of the year, but it's a good spot to pull up. They've got a place you can park your car and just watch all the action. This is the view from one of the parking spots. You can see it's very, very attractive park. There's some walking trails. You get lots of picnic benches here as well, and they're scattered throughout the park. Now there's the Rideau River, and one of the features for this park, which makes it quite busy in the summer, you obviously have your washrooms, but you have changing rooms. You've got a beach here. So in the summer, if you're coming, if you come on a weekend, expect it to be very busy. Even during the week, it can be quite busy, but there's enough room around. If you're trying to activate, you can certainly do so. And if you come around here as an example, there's a nice covered area, lots and lots of room, lots of open spaces, including some hilly areas with an open space so that you can set up an antenna mast and so on. So this is where we're going to operate from. We'll see what happens today. Have very, very little time today. So this is the setup. It's very, very simple. It's the one I use probably 90-95% of the time. Just slap the MFJ hamstick there. That's a 20-meter one on top of the car. Operate from the car. I can pull in and I can be in and out relatively quickly, which is what I want. And, you know, it's got comfort as well. So that's the setup. Very, very simple. I'll show you the inside, explain what we're trying to do, and then we're going to try and get some parks. All right, so this is the inside, sitting obviously in the passenger seat. This particular vehicle, the Escape, has a nice, great big dash there, so lots of room to put the radio. In this case, yeah, because I've used the G90 a couple of times unsuccessfully, trying to do parks over the last 3-4 months. So this time I brought the big radio, the one I used to use all of last year. I managed to get an extra cable for it, you know, power cable, so leave one at home, bring this shorter one with me here. And it's all set up. The antenna's attached. Number one concern, make sure you do that. And we're going to give it, you know, a good try anyways. So over here, you can see the battery. That's the one I use there. That's the Brute. It's sold by Cabela, so you can, you know, buy it online. Very, very good battery. I've got 2 of them. Today, because it's a really quick activation, I just brought one. I've yet to have either one die on me during an activation. So that's the type of thing we do. And like I say, simple setup. It doesn't take me very long to set up. And in this case, with the amount of time I have, that's a key factor in everything. All right, so what am I trying to accomplish today? What's the purpose? Well, obviously it's to activate this park. I've done it a few times. It's one of my favorite spots. It turns out that every few months I get basically the mid-morning and early afternoon off as our dog goes down to the groomer in Kemptville, which is about 15 minutes from here. So it's an easy drive from Kemptville to come back up here. And generally I have maybe 2.5, 3 hours in total. So that's divided up into, let's say, lunch, you know, the drive over, setup, takedown, drive back, take all that off of the activating time, and I'm probably left on a good day with maybe an hour to an hour and a half to activate. So it's not a lot of time. The last couple of times I've done it, I brought the G90, which incidentally is a great radio. I do love it. Try it again, not in this park, in 2 different parks which are around here. There's lots of parks out in this part around Ottawa, and tried activating twice, just doing CW. The first time I managed, I think it was 5 contacts in the space of about an hour and 15 minutes. And the second time I had more time, and believe it or not, but I got 2 contacts in about 2.5 hours of calling CQ. So you got to keep in mind that up here in the Great White North, which as you can see for, you know, mid-October, is not very white. It's actually beautiful weather. We don't have an awful lot of ham radio operators, so it's not unusual if we activate, or if I activate up here, especially at this time of the day, which is roughly noon. All right, noon in sort of mid-October. I very often don't get any Canadian contacts at all, and, you know, from nowhere. I mean, we don't have that many. If you look at, for instance, parts of Florida and the states just north of Florida, or some of the American Midwest states, awful lot of amateurs, and those are the ones we're trying to reach. So when the conditions are bad, as they have been for a lot of this year, and your signal's just not getting out, it can be a real rough, tough activation. So that's one reason for bringing the bigger radio today. I can squeeze a little bit more power out of it. And yes, I know it doesn't make that much a difference, but in poor band conditions, which again it's supposed to be today, I'll take any S unit or part of an S unit that I can get. So the idea here for today, I'm going to start with the single sideband simply because there's more operators than there are on the Morse code side of the band. We're using 20 meters, which is sort of my go-to one up here on most occasions. Start with that, see if we can get our 10 contacts in on single sideband. If we can, then all good. Then I'll switch over to Morse code. with that few Morse code operators on at this time of the day, and like I say, very few up here, it's just not worth it. I've tried it twice, just too tough. Different time of the year. If I get into, let's say, November, December, I find the conditions and the range and so on just increases. It's great. So if I was to try this maybe in December or January, I usually will get far better results than what I would get at this time of the year. So it's just an attempt. Try and get one good activation in. The last two weren't. And I just want to, give myself a pat on the back and say, yes, you did it. So, hey, you do what you can.
Zulu Victor, Pota-A, Delta 9, Romeo Papa Echo. The Mike Hotel Oscar, if you can stand by, and I'll take the Kilo Juliet 5 Delta Zulu Victor. This is Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie Oscar Juliet. US 6958. Yourself? Roger, Roger. I have y'all 5-7 into my two parks, US 0720 and US 4577, South Carolina. I got those four here, and back here's my second operator. She'll read them back to you. Stand by.
I copied your station, Juliet 5 Delta Zulu Victor. I copied your two park numbers, US 0720 and 4577. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Charlie Oscar Bravo. Yourself?
Roger, Roger. You're sounding good here. Enjoy your activation, 73.
Okay, park to park this call. Please stand by. Looking for the park to park that's Victor Echo 3 Sierra something. Victor Echo 3 Sierra, would you come first, please?
Roger, Roger. Victor Echo 3 Sierra, Victor Quebec, Sugar Victor Queen. You are a strong 5-9 into Park Charlie Alpha 5295 outside of Ottawa, Ontario.
Copy Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec in Charlie Alpha 5295. You're stuck down to just about a 5-4, but I still copy you. This is Kilo Quebec 4 Charlie Alpha Bravo, and if you'll stand by, I'll pass to the second operator.
Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec, park to park.
Victor Echo 3 again, please.
Victor Echo 3 Sugar Victor Queen, Sierra Victor Quebec 59, Ottawa, Ontario, park number Charlie Alpha 5295.
All right, I got Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec and Charlie Alpha 5295. QSL?
QSL.
Roger, Roger. Thanks so much for the phone.
73, good luck. Well, that was a quick activation as it is. I just got the text message to say the puppy is ready for pickup, so I've got to get moving here in 50 minutes. So 50 to 55 minutes, we managed about 12 contacts, so that wasn't bad. All single sideband. I was just about to switch over. I had my 10 plus my 2 safety and was just about to switch over to CW, but the text on your phone goes, come and pick them up. So I've got to hustle and get out of here. Another time we'll try just the CW activation, but for this time it was good. A lot of shorter stuff. I'm just looking down the list. Few in Tennessee, Pennsylvania, 1 Canadian in Nova Scotia, a couple of others down in sort of Missouri, South Carolina, Indiana, Ohio, and so on. So not bad, and like I say, a fast activation, 50 to 55 minutes. It's just the way they go sometimes. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you hung in there and saw what we were up to, we try and keep these short. And yes, this setup does work very, very well. It's efficient, and you can get out. I've gotten out with that ham stick all the way out to Washington State a couple of times from Ontario, out into certainly South Dakota and all that area as well. And I have one Alaska contact from here, so you never know. These little ham sticks can do the trick when you need a relatively fast activation. 73s, good luck, folks. If you get out there in a park, have fun. Pota on.
Now, just to summarize how it went today, it was fun when I actually added up all the numbers to see what we're looking at. We're looking at about 54 minutes to activate for. That's all the time I had. Like I said, I was trying to switch over to CW. I was actually getting everything set up, the key out and everything when I got the text to say time to leave and come and get them. So we'll try maybe a CW operation, same park, but we'll just do CW for a bit of fun. So how did it work out? Well, I'm a stats person. I tend to like stats rather than just looking at people talking on the radio. So 12 different parks. Included in all of that, of course, was 14 operators. There were a couple of parks where there were 2 operators operating out of it. For the most part, the signal was concentrated in a particular area. As an example, North Carolina, 2 contacts. Tennessee, 2 contacts. South Carolina, 1 contact. PA, 1 contact. And then we go over into some of the other areas. Wisconsin, 1 contact. Missouri, 1 contact. Indiana, 1 contact. Ohio, 2 contacts. So, it wasn't bad. And it was fun to do because it's been a while since I've actually been able to get out. It's rare that I can get out. So, hope you enjoyed it. And like I say, get out there, have a bit of fun. Doesn't matter what the band conditions say. Band conditions for today were not good. I still made my contact, still got my activation in, still had a bit of fun. And, that's what it's all about. A little bit of fun, try and activate a park. Good luck if you do. Good luck if you try it. It's Keith. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, comment down below. If you're from the Ottawa area, take a look at this park. It's one that you might want to activate. It's Keith, 73. Have a great day.